Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Hidden Gems, What's in Your Mail.dat File webinar. This is one of a series of educational webinars from WindowBook. My name is Monica Lundquist, and I am Postal Affairs and Technical Support Manager here at WindowBook. I'll be presenting the introduction to the webinar, followed by a live demo of the DAT-MAIL software by Mary Bush, who is our Manager of Client Resources. The agenda for today's webinar is to provide information about the data that's resident in Mail.dat files. We will talk about the types of files that comprise the Mail.dat file set and how you can extract valuable data from these files using reports, queries, and exports. We will then turn to the tools that you need to mine this great data and to give you some recommendations for your workflow processes to help you take advantage of the mailing data. We'll then turn it over to Mary to give you a peek at some of the reports, the queries, and the exports that are available in our DAT-MAIL software. We'll then wrap up with a Q&A portion where you will have the opportunity to ask questions about the information that we present today. First, let's talk a little bit about Mail.dat files. Mail.dat files are actually comprised of a set of related files, which together form a database that contains all of the detailed information about a mailing with the exception of the names and addresses. The Mail.dat file set can consist of up to 21 different files, depending on the complexity of the mailing and the needs of the various entities in the mail process. Typically, though, most Mail.dat file sets consist of about 10 core files. Now, if you've attended our Mail.dat and Mail.xml webinar, you already know that Mail.dat is the industry standard file format that's used by most of the mailing industry to generate postal documentation and to share mailing information between various parties, such as the mail owner, the mail preparer or service provider, the logistics companies, the Postal Service, and many others. However, what you may not realize is that there's a wealth of information in those Mail.dat files, and if you are only using them to generate postal documents, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to mine all of that available data for hidden gems that can assist you in all sorts of ways. Okay, so all this data is out there in these files. How do you go about getting to it? Have you ever looked at the guts of a Mail.dat file? Kind of complicated. Well, that's where the proper tools come in. Post-presort software is a key ingredient in being able to take advantage of all of this great data. In addition to the usual postal documents, robust post-presort software should allow the user to tap into all of the Mail.dat data without having to try to decipher the Mail.dat specification manual. Users should be able to tap into not only numerous Postal Service mailing reports, but also a great selection of production documents and reports that can help you improve your workflow, improve efficiencies on your production floor, collect data for statistical reports, help plan your staffing, estimate your mail equipment needs, and so much more. Also of benefit is the ability to generate accounting documents and reports, which can help you account for postage dollars, whether these are your own postage dollars or those of your clients. And users should also be able to generate their own custom reports that are user designed to meet specific unique requirements. And lastly, all of this data should be available as an export in a variety of file formats, so that you can share this data with other applications and people in your organization. On the previous slide, we talked about all the various types of documents, reports, queries, and exports that can help make your lives easier. If you've attended our DAT-MAIL webinars before or are familiar with our DAT-MAIL software, you already know that it's a great tool for editing Mail.dat files and allows for generation of postage statements, qualification reports, dropship clearance documents, manifests, and other postal documents. But what you may not know is that DAT-MAIL also has the ability for the user to really dig into that mass of data that's available in your Mail.dat files. And all of this is available just by clicking on the available reports, documents, queries, and exports that are at your fingertips in DAT-MAIL. Now, if you want to be able to access all of your mailing data, it's important to put into place very consistent processes for handling your mailings. The more consistent your processes, the more of your data you'll be able to access for these reports and exports. For example, use Mail.dat files as often as possible for your mailings. It's much more efficient than manually entering